Hey guys, it's your girl Wandika, originally from Jamaica, and today I would like to show you the first completed week in July in my handmade book. So you'll notice that the cover is a little bit different from when I showed you the July setup. I decided to go fabric on the cover, and I've used the Tim Holtz fabric sheets, those adhesive sheets. And I don't know, I think it makes it look a little bit more vintage than it was. The only problem is that this is distressed. The image before it became fabric is distressed, so it kind of looks a little bit dirty, the white part. That's the only thing I don't really love about it. I also want to show you, remember in that last video I showed transforming the book and I made it small. I actually finished a book already. But this is because I did transcribe a few things in here from another book. I made this my writing log that kind of keeps me abreast of my progress with my stories that I am working on for my dissertation. And so I love that it is this small, and because I did go to Dirt Cheap and I bought 10 more of these because they were $1 for one of these books. And I like the idea that I don't have to walk around with it. I already have this big book, and I prefer working in big books for my planner, but for like the daily journaling I like this size. I like how compact it is. I just don't feel any pressure. I love the tea dyed. I'll show you this afterwards. So let's look in this. Alright, so I continued with the fabric on this side too. Normally I have a pocket, but I didn't decide to do that this time. And I've used a bunch of scraps. As you guys know, I keep this scraps basket, and it's been under control. I'm so proud of myself because I tend to use them up in a lot of different places as well. So this is washi tape, and this was one of those snacks that I got when I went to Tuesday morning. And of course a calendar, and then the first day. I don't have any pockets here, but I made a pocket and I put the receipts in there. As I told you, I'm not going to lay out the receipts as I've done in the past, because sometimes I actually need to retrieve a receipt, and if it's already decorated in my book, then it kind of doesn't serve the purpose, unless I'm going to give the cashier the whole book, which I don't think they'll like. So you know, I think I'm going to phase out these kind of to-do lists because I'm running out of them. So when I get to the second week, I might use a different thing for the to-do list. And this is me with my new hair. I was trying out this wig. I love it so much. It's a hit. I love big curly hair, and I always like to play with hair, and this, I love it. And I went shopping, so of course my to-do list. Yeah, you can tell I was feeling myself, because here's another picture. I was really loving it. I took a picture of these plantains because when I went to the supermarket, the cashier was asking me if they were bananas, and I said no, they're plantains, and he kept asking me what, and then I realized that I wasn't pronouncing it the way Americans pronounce, which is plantains, and it always grates on me. But I said, oh, plantains, and he's like, oh, okay. So, but we say plantain like how you say mountain, and you guys say plantains like how you say maintain. So, you know, I just had to remember to pronounce it the way that you guys like. Now this was a bag, a grab bag that I got at the dollar store. Instead of a plastic bag, she was giving me my purchases in a grab bag that they normally, I guess, when you go to a party. And there was like, I don't remember what it was. It said something maybe for happy birthday to boy or something like that. And I cut it out and I realized this would be a great picture frame. you know, so I went with that. And then I had some leftover fabric strips that I've used there, more scraps, more, you know, I've been really using them up, and I love that there's a place that it can go when I'm, because as you know, I've been making lots of journals. And this was my niece Kamari's birthday. Kamari is the only one I think in the family who watches me, so if you're watching, hi Kamari. So yeah, I just wanted to, and I sent her her present, and her mom wrapped it, which was so nice. I didn't think she was gonna do that, and she sent me this picture of her with it, so I'm very happy about that. And here we have the plantains cooked for breakfast that day, more scraps, to-do list, and I had this in my I have a different container for scraps with words, and so I just pulled this and I used that there. This pocket I made, you know, I had when I made the book, so it was one of those where I folded over the scrap paper and I glued the sides and I sewed it, and where I put my receipts. And I incorporated this as you've seen in the other journals. I really love this here. These were labels from clothing, and I love that they have motivational statements on the back of the tags. Like this says, be yourself, everyone else is taken, and this says magic, you know, so I thought that was good. To-do list, I kind of changed up the type of paper I use for my to-do list. This is just some vintage ephemera that I had in my stash, and I just decided to use that. More scraps, and then I journaled a little bit about the day. The 4th of July I stayed in, and I actually have a 4th of July stamp, so I've used this stamp twice. I don't have any other reason to use it than on the actual day, but and this was mail. I got this in the mail, and I decided to use this stamp because, you know, it kind of commemorates the day. It's just coincidental that I got mail with the flag stamp on this day, and I used it. And this was a gift bag. That's a snap of a picture. It wasn't the best. I was very disappointed, but I still put it in there because I document everything. And I was going to write some more about the day. I have some tea-dyed paper, and I put some, I glued on some ruled paper on the back of this card, but I just didn't get around to it, so I'll turn it this way. And we went back to school, and I thought, I looked down and realized I was wearing socks and shoes, and it just reminded me of when I was a kid. But with the outfit, it didn't look like a child's outfit. It just was the whole socks and shoes thing, back to school after a long weekend. I thought that was funny, so I took a picture. My to-do list once again, and you know that I keep labels and stuff. This was in a book that's sort of transparent printed paper, and I just used some double-sided tape, and then I made a pocket by gluing down the sides of this paper where I could put my receipts and just something about the day. And I had this in my stash and decided to just fill it out. This I saw at Burlington, and I just was tickled because it has the last two syllables of my name as the brand. So I thought I would put that in here, just, you know, as an observation. And then Thursday, I had gotten a new paper pack, so some of the stuff you're seeing here is also in my writing journal. I was very tired this day. I hadn't slept. I stayed up all night just making books. So I just was so weary. And it was so hot, and I went home and I went in the pool because it was deserted, and I hate going to the pool when there are a bunch of people there. But nobody was there, so I jumped in and I felt revived after, because I was almost falling asleep at school, so it really woke me up. And I did have other stuff here, I just can't, I had scribbled it somewhere because I did not have my book with me. And this is what I've done today, because I did not have my book on Friday, and I wrote a to-do list, but I don't know where I put it. So I'm gonna have to try and remember some of the things, some of the objectives I had for this day. I had some good news and I wanted to remember it, so I put it here. One of my short stories will be published in this magazine, this online magazine, Aduna magazine, and I was really happy about that, and so I wanted to remember it. This was just a picture of these plants. It was after it had rained, and it just, these small plants that just seemed, you know, compelling for some reason. I snapped them. This was lunch in the cafeteria. I made this custom order that I'm either gonna post before I post this video or after I post this video. But she has a thing for elephants, the client, and so I tried to incorporate that. I thought that was so cute though. I was surprised that I would find stuff relating to elephants, and I did. I even got this stamp, but the reason that this is in here is that I tried to stamp something to put in the book, but it didn't work as well because it's not the usual stamp. It's this like wooden stamp, and it just didn't come out as good, and I didn't think it was good enough to put in the journal, so I put it in my book because that's where I usually put a lot of the reject stuff anyway. And this is from the Iman book, Iman in Her Element. And yeah, and I'm glad that the week ends with the signature so that I can start a new week. And I think this will just be a second week, so I'm gonna have 2 volumes, as you guys know. So that's basically my week in July and how I documented it. And as I was showing you here, I don't think I can show you the first page. The first page is a little bit private, but yeah, I love this little book, and it's almost finished, but I you know, I'll show you, like, put some pictures in here as well. This was one day that I was writing, and keep the theme going because this is all about writing. I'm gonna make some notes here about some places that I want to submit to, and this was from March to put there. And I love this vintage paper pack that I've been using. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah. So this was me writing about how excited I was that I was getting another story published. And then in the middle of the night, I mean, I was up watching Netflix and I was crafting, and this occurred to me, and I got a breakthrough in a story, and so I always put the time and the date, but because it was the same day, I just put the time and wrote some of the revelations I had about my character. And so I just have a few more pages, and I just feel motivated to write in it because I know how quickly it will fill up. And it's weird, I guess. Maybe if you can't relate to that, you'll find it to be strange, but when I can do it in small bursts like this, I know it's regimented and I will do it every single day, and I feel happy about it because I'm doing a lot of different things. But with this, is just one thing, just writing my thoughts, and I don't think I like having a fat book. I used to think that that's what I wanted, but I think I like having these thin volumes. and I'd rather have several volumes that I use than have one large volume that I don't use. So I'm glad about that. This used to be the writing journal, so I decided to make this something for the store. So I'm gonna post this mini journal to wandikagale.com/web-store. So yeah, and it's pretty much the same kind of style that I've had of late, and I'm going to add some more stamping preview. I'll do a real video when I have done more to it, and I have a few more to show you. Alright, thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Walk good.